The NFL thought it had Shadur Sanders figured out. Just another privileged kid riding on the coattails of his famous father, destined to flame out once the lights got too bright. From the moment he landed in Cleveland, the knives were out. Media personalities, rival fans, even former players lined up to brand him a Nepo baby who thought he was above the grind. And when Tony Rizzo, one of Cleveland's most plugged-in radio voices, went on air in September 2024 and claimed Sanders wasn't even taking scout team reps, literally just standing around while Bailey Zapp ran the show, the narrative ignited like wildfire. Suddenly, every hot take merchant in America had their villain. ESPN ran it. Fox Sports debated it. YouTube creators roasted him for 20 minutes straight. For 3 straight days, Nepo Baby trended at the top of social media. It was the kind of accusation that can destroy a rookie before he ever takes a snap. But while the world laughed, while millions pointed and jeered, Shadur Sanders smiled. Not the kind of fake PR-polished grin you flash to cameras, but the knowing smirk of someone who understands the game being played and knows he's already 3 moves ahead. Because the truth, as it turns out, was very different. When Cleveland.com finally got Sanders in front of a camera, the entire narrative collapsed in real time. He wasn't refusing to practice. He was embracing it. Every day, he said, was game day. 6 games a week instead of just one Sunday. He praised his scout team receivers, players most fans couldn't name, calling them explosive, calling them future stars who just needed opportunity. He joked about the privilege of facing off against Myles Garrett in practice, smiling at the thought of the NFL's most terrifying pass rusher coming after him. The rookie everyone branded as entitled and arrogant sounded grateful, hungry, and completely locked in. Bill Musgrave, the Browns' quarterback coach, confirmed it immediately. Every quarterback was getting reps. Rizzo's rock-solid sources were either flat-out wrong, deliberately misleading, or badly outdated. But here's the thing. By the time the truth came out, the damage was already done. Millions of people had already swallowed the lie, and the media, who'd amplified it non-stop, quietly moved on without correction. And yet, Sanders never flinched. He didn't beg for sympathy. He didn't lash out. He leaned into the chaos and turned it into fuel. The same week analysts were calling him delusional, Sanders' face was plastered across Nike campaigns and KFC commercials. While third-string quarterbacks across the league pray for stability and barely crack practice squad wages, Sanders was pulling engagement numbers most starters would envy, 10,000 minimum per post compared to the 2,000 his teammates struggled to reach. The Nepo baby they mocked was cashing checks they could only dream about. But the real brilliance wasn't in the endorsements. It was in the choice nobody understood. Why Cleveland? Why voluntarily walk into the one franchise that didn't want him? That had Deshaun Watson locked into a $230 million guaranteed deal, that had zero intention of developing him, that drafted him only for trade value? Analysts called it career suicide. Former quarterbacks couldn't comprehend it. Fans rolled their eyes and wrote him off before he'd thrown a pass. But Sanders wasn't being naive. He was being strategic. Cleveland wasn't a mistake. It was a laboratory. No pressure to start. No expectations to carry a broken franchise. Just daily reps against one of the league's most suffocating defenses. A place where he could fail privately, study relentlessly, and grow without being exposed under primetime lights. And, in a twist nobody saw coming, he landed in the care of Bill Musgrave, the same Musgrave who once rode the bench as Deion Sanders' teammate in San Francisco. The same backup who got his lone Super Bowl snaps because Primetime himself had begged a coach to give him a chance. 30 years later, that man was now mentoring Prime's son. You think that was coincidence? Behind the scenes, Musgrave has been feeding Shedeur the very blueprint that once made his father unstoppable. Stories about work ethic, film study, mental toughness, the unglamorous grind behind the flash. Teaching him how to weaponize being unwanted. How to turn being overlooked into an advantage. It wasn't just coaching. It was legacy, and the results are undeniable. Every attack has only made Sanders stronger. When they called him spoiled, he doubled down on praising his teammates. When they mocked him for being third string, he laughed about it in interviews, treating it like an opportunity instead of a curse. When reporters tried to bait him into complaining about his offensive line, he shrugged it off. Ones, twos, threes, it didn't matter. He was ready to work with whoever was in front of him. The irony is that the same media-feeding frenzy that tried to bury him has actually supercharged his rise. Cleveland's own outlets privately admitted, Nothing drives engagement like Shadur Sanders. His jersey sales spiked the moment his number was announced. Brown's content featuring him consistently outperforms stories about Watson or the team's actual starters. They call it the Shadur stimulus package. The kid they thought was a throwaway draft pick has become the franchise's most marketable asset without even stepping on the field, and here's the terrifying part for every team that passed on him. Sanders is documenting all of it. Every slight, every criticism, every headline branding him a bust before his career even started. Not with bitterness, but with patience. With the quiet confidence of someone who knows how this story ends. He's not waiting for his chance, he's creating it. Every day, every rep, every endorsement deal, every viral clip is another piece of evidence he'll unveil when his moment finally comes. Because that moment will come. And when it does, the narrative will flip overnight. From entitled Nepo baby to misunderstood genius who played the long game better than anyone else. From trade bait to franchise cornerstone. From media punching bag to one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the league. The truth is simple. Shadur Sanders didn't choose Cleveland in spite of the dysfunction. He chose it because of it. Because he saw something nobody else did. A pressure-free crucible where he could refine his game while building an empire off the field. And when he finally steps onto the field for real, the receipts will be waiting. So, what do you think? Was Shadur Sanders reckless for choosing Cleveland? Or is he quietly writing one of the smartest rookie stories the NFL has ever seen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to follow every twist of this saga, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story is only just beginning.